Yeah, one final note to the Christ um, experience that I have. Um, it's quite simple, yeah. Without the Almighty, yeah, we promote um, uh, human um, knowledge and intervention in things. Do you know that human beings do neuro linguistic programming, hypnosis, where they control your mind, and during that process you become subject to them? Would you rather be subject to a human being than a deity that they can't touch? You have to accept that you can't touch and they can't touch. Well, I choose the latter. Okay, I won't let no human being dominate my mind and I become a puppet, fool, and idiot man to them, where it's their will that I'm doing, where they trigger you, anchor you, and you carry out their bidding. Yeah, and that's just a man's will that you're following. I won't be party to that. But anyway, back to Christ. If you look at the story of Christ deeply, you realize that it's the Zoroastrians that gave us Christ. They predicted that in the Jewish nation there will be born a man who's essentially like their king. So they noticed, I don't know if they were the first ones to notice, that the Christ consciousness appears from time to time, from place to place, and there are mechanisms in the universe that necessitate that consciousness in human beings. And it was the Jews' turn to experience that consciousness. There's been other people and cultures that have experienced theirs. So if the Christ consciousness is an inevitability, it means that that consciousness will be formed again. Yeah. There's a story about the water bearer. Look for the water bearer as the next time that consciousness comes. When you look at dark energy and dark matter, yeah, as consciousness, it's a theory of mine. Um, it, you can start from that point and deduce that a consciousness that is highly resonant, they're starting to call it the global consciousness system. A consciousness that is highly resonant with the global consciousness system manifests. Yeah? It's been 2,000 years since we realized a consciousness like that. Yeah? And we expect another one is overdue. Yeah? So, the inevitability of Christ's return will eventually be calculated scientifically, like the Zoroastrians did. And I'm sure that is also ample proof for the Christ and the need for the Christ, where the global consciousness system is talking to us on a local scale. Yeah, through a manifested consciousness that he has, well, brought about. Yeah, it's an inevitability. So the return of Christ, I don't think we can predict when. It could be at the end of the universe, could be today, tomorrow. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. So you have to look at religion and try to see how science is discovering and proving religious beliefs. They might use different name. They might use dark energy when they mean dark energy or global consciousness system when they mean omnipresence. But they're proving um, uh, some of the things we do religiously, but they're just giving them different names. So the consciousness that we call the Christ, um, you can deduce scientifically that this has an inevitability. Me, I always say when I connect uh, with the Almighty, that there's always going to be an evil one. There's always going to be a good one. There's always going to be a neutral one. These are things that resonate in every situation. In every situation, you find somebody who argues for the side of the good, somebody who opposes that, and someone who's neutral. In most situations where there's three or more people, you find these three characters. They play out in every situation. So Christ is a consciousness that is inevitable, and I haven't done the math, but you can see, uh, that if there is a global consciousness system, that's also a possibility.